Hey guys, so Clubhouse. Had you heard of Clubhouse? I hadn't heard of Clubhouse until today via a social media frenzy involving Kevin Hart. So Clubhouse is a conversation app where people join together in chat rooms to have conversations, and apparently Kevin Hart was involved in one today. You can see his tweet here. He said, I had an amazing conversation in Clubhouse today. Real talks with real people. Love the direction this is going in. Blah, blah, blah. Now, what he fails to mention in that tweet is that apparently the conversation he crashed into was one entitled, Is Kevin Hart Funny? And people are joined together to have a conversation about whether they actually think he's a funny comedian or not. Now, stuff was emerging about the conversation on social media as it was happening, and I wanted to post about it then, but there were no recordings, so I thought, well, what's the point? But this lady here explains what was being discussed. He says he's compared himself to Oprah and Obama and said black people bury their own. His chosen example is Bill Cosby. Happy Friday. Now, since all this stuff emerged on social media, Kevin Hart released a brief video saying that a lot of the stuff people have said was not what was discussed and they were just trying to change the narrative.
Guys, look, we gotta stop. All right? Stop with the false narrative. It's a false narrative that's being created. If you were in the clubhouse and a part of the conversation, this wasn't about black women. It wasn't about me going against black. Stop. The question was asked about the joke about my daughter and me referencing my daughter having hoe-like activity. I gave an answer to it. Here's what it is, guys. I'm not calling my daughter a hoe. I'm saying what she did is hoe-like activity. I called 3 former hoes that I knew and asked them, is this hoe-like activity? We had a conversation about it, a good back and forth. There was never a black woman and black man back, never. So stop with that false narrative first and foremost. Also understand, guys, there is no other way to market or promote because we're in a pandemic. I can't go and do the talk shows that I once did or go out and do the public stunts. I have no other way to market and promote except to go viral. I have to create conversations, generate back and forth. That's the marketing and promotion attached to my now special. It's common sense here, guys. Marketing, promotion. That's why I was in Clubhouse. Marketing, promotion, conversation. Hence, it leads to streams. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. Zero fucks given, streaming now. But stop with the false narratives and the clickbait and the back and forth. There wasn't no comparison to Barack and Oprah, the shit that I'm seeing. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. False narrative. Marketing, promotion, conversation. Zero fucks given on Netflix now.
So basically, it seems like what Kevin Hart is saying here is that his entire reason for going on Clubhouse was only promotion. Because he's saying, okay, people who said I was talking about Obama and whatever, that's all nonsense, that never happened. So he makes it out that those people were lying. But he goes on about, real conversation, real people, blah, blah. But at the same time, you're saying you went on there to promote, which makes you sound like you're very superficial because you were only on there to promote a product, namely your Netflix special. Which, I don't know, it just makes you sound so lacking in kind of any sort of genuine approach to your fans. So basically, you were there to talk to them so they would buy your product. Which, I don't know, it seems kind of lame to me. But anyway, listen. Someone has very kindly actually uploaded 15 minutes of the conversation that they managed to record off Clubhouse, so you can have a listen to it. Now, I'm not going to play all 15 minutes for you because it's quite long, and a lot of it is people arguing, but I'm going to play you about, 3 or 4 minutes of it, where Kevin Hart is asked by a lady regarding his stance on Bill Cosby, I believe it is. And I don't know, it's all very strange, this conversation, but listen, you have a listen to it and see what you think. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's just really interesting that every time a black woman on this stage says something, we're being condescended to, we're being patronized by, and we're being talked around and around in riddles. Like, I came on this stage because I was really concerned by the kinds of things that you were saying, Kevin. And again, I think it was Mouse who said earlier, I don't know if you said I was a reporter. I just want to clear that up. I'm not a reporter. I'm a fiction writer. I'm a Columbia grad student. So I don't need to be spoken to or condescended to in a way that demeans my intelligence, first of all. Thank you very much. Secondly, the question I asked you earlier about conflating negativity with critique is something that I've noticed from you in most of your public conversations. I needed some clarification about that, because whenever Black women on this stage gets up to ask you why you specifically say one thing, and then you turn around and run around and make these conflations that I just think are like unnecessary. Like for earlier when you said about Hannibal Buress, about how he, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard you say this multiple times now, how Hannibal Buress was the one who took down what's his face, Bill Cosby, right? Like he went on that stage, said these things, and that ignited all of the conversations that proceeded afterwards, that started the criminal investigations against him. When you use that word, like taking him down, that phrase, we must share different definitions, because I don't understand how that could be read as somebody taking somebody else down. To me, that seems like Hannibal Buress actually used his platform to bring to light something that was heinous and destructive to an entire community. Cosby was doing all this shit for so many years, going about totally just destroying the lives of so many women out there who wanted their own futures within entertainment or comedy or what have you. Like, to me, that's like, it's, first of all, it's obfuscatory, right? You're conflating things that should not be conflated. And secondly, it is like, it's insidious semantically. It's very insidious because that's all.
Okay, so I'm going to respond to you. There's a lot of words that you use that, I'm be honest, I don't know the definition to. So within what you said, here's I'm just going to give you reality. Do you think that I think Cosby is innocent?
I didn't say you thought that.
I just asked the question.
No,
Do you think that? Okay. Do you think that I think Cosby was wrongfully accused and should be let free?
No, I don't think you think that either.
Okay, so then what is the intent behind what you're saying you're doing? If you clearly know that I'm not an individual that's not on the side of thinking or believing that what he did was wrong, what's the intent behind your conversation? What's the intent behind your questions? If I just ask you just listen to me. If I just ask you two straightforward questions, which is simple, do you think that I think he's innocent, or do you think that I think that he was wrongfully accused? Your answer both no.
But you said,
hey, listen. Let me finish. I let you speak the entire time. Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm giving you a verbal version of clickbait. That's what this is. You also use the narrative every time a Black woman speaks. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't look at the profile of who's speaking. So I don't know who's Black and who's not. We're on an audio app. So stop attaching the Black woman conversation to a conversation via audio. I don't know who or what you are. So stop creating narrative that can act as clickbait, because that's what it is. There is no wrongful intent to not let a Black woman speak. There is no wrongful intent behind a conversation of a comedian using a joke that started the conversation that then got a man arrested. There is no wrongful intent. It's a conversation. But we're living in a day and time where everything you say, well, wait a minute, we can hold you on and we can make you fucking fall. That's the world we're in, which brings us back to the topic of conversation to wrap it all around, where we were discussing, Kevin, are you affected by this? Kevin, how do you feel? I love the narrative behind the conversation, once again, because it's marketing, it's advertising. But bringing everything back, this is why I'm not affected, because there's a high level of ridiculous attached to every conversation.
Kevin,
so if you know the answers, wait a second. So if you know the answers to your questions, if you're asking them still, well, you're only asking them to create a world of negativity. You just said, I don't believe that you feel that way. So then why continue to push the narrative? Because you want something negative.
I don't think you know what's going on inside the content.
I do know what's going on. And I just gave you,
listen. You guys, I'm really sorry, just to be respectful. I think we did hear both points. of what you guys were trying to say. And I just don't think that continuing on this topic, you guys are going to come to like a common ground. So I think
It
maybe
shouldn't
just
even be a
respectfully
conversation.
That's actually where the video cuts off, so there's no more there. But if you want to watch the full 15-minute clip, you can find it on YouTube. But what was that? What's he saying? I just don't get it. He's speaking in riddles. I honestly don't understand what Kevin Hart is saying. And I've heard it 3 or 4 times now, and I still don't know what he's trying to say. Like, what? So basically you're saying you don't think Bill Cosby's innocent. You do think he deserved to go to jail, but you don't kind of explicitly say that. Then you're saying, I'm not isolating black women because I don't look at the facial profiles when I'm talking on the app. Because it's an audio app, I have no idea if you're black or white. Right, okay. And then you're suddenly going on about marketing again. What does this mean? Honestly, I think that is gaslighting. To me, I just think all you're doing here is you're confusing people and making them wonder, what on earth were we talking about? Because I can't remember, because you've thrown up so many weird riddles. You've taken us down so many cul-de-sacs and dead ends. I just don't know what we're talking about anymore, and I would rather stop talking and just go and sit in the dark with a glass of water and contemplate where my life is going. I just, it really annoys me. Anyway, that's about all I can tell you right now, guys. I personally don't think this was a particularly wise move for Kevin Hart. I appreciate at the moment he's going through a lot of negativity because people don't really like his Netflix special, but I don't think this is going to help. I just think this is weird. It just seems to me that he crashed this conversation and just started talking about himself a lot and marketing. Yeah, and that's about it, really. So there you go. I don't really have much more to say, except I'm going to go and find somewhere to sit and scream and try and work out, once again, what on earth he was talking about. But I hope this clears things up for you if you were at all interested. Thanks for watching. Bye.